Hey guys, this is Julian from the Binary Lab. As you guys can see, I've had a shave and a haircut, so had some time. Anyways, in this video, I want to talk about what does it mean, the margin level percent. So I've deliberately set up with like a more aggressive lot size to simulate a lower leverage. Okay, so over here we have a margin level of, for these open trades, which is very minimal. Floating loss by percentage. Okay, you want to look at by percentage with the balance of the account. Now we have this other account over here where I have a quantity of trades ongoing. I think it's like 13 or so. The floating loss for this balance is relatively smaller than this other account that we have here. Now the thing between this and this is, notice that the margin level is also about 9 times as much as this one here. So what do we need to know about margin level? Okay, a lot of people when you're looking at like some kind of a broker's TNC, when you're signing up, you see some kind of a TNC that says on Fridays this broker may actually reduce the leverage from 1:1,000 to anything up to 1:100. So you know, from my end, the first time I saw such a warning, I was like, does that mean that, you know, everything out there that we have in the market is going to be 10 times as risky? Well, actually, it's not quite what you think. It's probably a lot better than what you think. First and foremost, when I spoke to some broker account managers, they told me that by regulation, they're required to say that. But, you know, in reality, it's very rare that such a thing is going to happen. But if such a thing happens at all, okay, they said check your account sign-up email every Friday, because every Friday there will be some notice. If there will be a notice, okay, they will give you a few hours advance. Notice is an industry requirement of at least 4 hours notice. So check your emails that you sign up your account with, and check your emails to see if you have any notice regarding a leverage change approaching the market close time. Why is this very crucial for you? Because if you happen to have a lot of open positions, it can do away with your ability to take new positions, and that's actually quite dangerous. If you're running a martingale EA, it also becomes very dangerous when your leverage is going to be cut, because, you know, like sometimes if you are in a dangerous situation, you really need a hedge trade to be put in, or you need a certain trade to help you get out of a set of negative trades. But when you cannot take that, you're going to expose yourself to additional risk. So under normal circumstances, I want to explain to you what this means for you. Okay, so look at these two accounts. Like I said, if you look at the amount of trades that we have going on here versus here, and both of these, as you can see, are comparable. They're both ECN level accounts, and so relatively speaking, there's a lot more trades going on here. Okay, and yet the margin level is so much different from the other one. So what does it mean to have the margin level being reduced? If the margin level gets reduced, this one is a 1:1,000 account, 1:1,000 leverage account. If the leverage gets reduced by 10 times, if it goes down from 1,000 to 1:100, basically you're going to see 1 0 being taken away from here. So your margin level is going to be left with 2,150, which is not bad. Okay, and then let's say if let's say it goes down from 1:1,000 to 1:50, you get this number here. You take away as the last number and you divide it by 2, so that's 1,125, which is also not bad. Okay, now let's say, when will it become a dangerous situation? It can become a dangerous situation if your margin level is anything less than 1,000. If you're at 1,000 and your account is currently on a 1:1,000, that means that, you know, it can drop from 1,000% leverage. Sorry, it can drop from 1,000% to 100, and that's dangerous because with different brokers, the margin call level can be at 80, it can be at 50, it can be at 20, it can be at 5. This brings me to another aspect that we'll be talking about in a different video, which is about margin call, what it really means. Okay, but you know, it basically puts you closer to you know, the point that you need to actually fund up your account, and you know, it puts you closer to the risk of a stop out, and it can be really dumb. But the good news is, if your account is looking anything like this, if your floating loss is only about like 10% of your account, you're in a fairly safe zone. You don't have to worry anything at all. And even if your floating loss is about 20% of your account, you don't have to worry anything at all as well. Okay? Because what's going to happen is simply like 1-0 is going to drop off. And if you are running an EA, if you're running like a martingale, because many of you come into contact my page about the Forex EA that I've been developing, like whether it's going to be the PAM or the self-managed, the good news for you is this: if you're running this EA and if you're on the self-managed, what you need to do on a Friday is that, well, if you can have an opportunity to exit these trades with little or no loss. For example, over here, okay, I have another account right here. Alright, just now I manually closed some trades just so that I can change the lot size from what it is over here into these ones. Okay, this is a micro account. That's why you see the margin being a lot different from the other one. Like basically on a Friday, all you need to do is just to, if you have some trades running, you can, what I recommend is at any point, like today is a Friday, okay? So manually intervene. If they're in a profit, just close them out, reduce the lot size, and you should be fine to keep it running. And let's say, what if you're in a situation where you have some trades running, there is a floating loss going on, you may be about 15% negative on a Friday. What do? Okay, what's important is that you don't want the EA to be keeping to take trades close to market close. Close to market close, the liquidity is low and the spreads can go high. And with the spreads going higher and your leverage being dropped, this is a really, really bad thing for you. You also don't want to have to suffer the effects of a weekend cap. So what I can recommend is that you want to actually disable your EA, or maybe even put a hedge on your trades. Actually, that's one of the best things that you can do. Put a hedge, the equal of the opposite amount, to lock down this balance, and then on a Monday, re-enable the EA, close the hedge trade, and let it run as usual again. So that's one way of doing it. The other way is that, of course, you can simply, turn off you can just turn off and let it manage. But if you're anticipating some kind of weekend move that can be against your favor, a hedge before you close the market could be a very, very good idea. So this is just some ideas on how you can manage your account. And for those of you who are interested in my PAM program, it's currently performing really, really great. This is the first week of operation on the master account, and it's already at 146 profit. And I want to show you also the maximum drawdown, which is absolutely out of this world. You can see it's a new account. It's a forward test. Some people ask me, is this a back test or a forward test? No, it is a forward test. Okay, the maximum drawdown is ridiculously low. It's 0.18%. Wow. The profit factor is down a little bit from yesterday because of some of the trades being closed with a small negative. Like for example, over here, you have this one, you have this one. The win rate is ridiculous. I mean, let's look at it. And you see, for 31 consecutive wins, 3 consecutive losses, consecutive profit, and look at the average profit, average loss. It is a very profitable EA. So to get in, simply follow the links in this video. There's an information page. That page is going to give you instructions on how to get in for the self-managed and also for the PAM. And I'll see you on the inside. Bye for now.